Hey there. We need to talk about something very, very important today, and that important topic is chocolate. I love chocolate. I eat chocolate every single day. And for me, chocolate is part of a balanced health plan. There's actually some very good research behind using chocolate in your diet to have good outcomes on your diet. The thing is, if chocolate's a trigger food, you need to be warned right now, and that's the reason I'm going to tape this for you so you get a handle on what you're doing with your chocolate. Okay, so the good parts about chocolate, there's a lot of research, and I'm going to read some of this. There have been studies that show that chocolate consumption lowers the risk of stroke in men. I don't think they studied women. They got these guys, a Swedish study had guys eating about a third of a cup of chocolate per week. And actually that's about 1 tablespoon of chocolate chips a day for 7 days a week, so that's not too much. We could handle that, couldn't we, friends? Yes, we could. But they found that the people that ate that little bit of chocolate, that 1/3 cup per week, had a 17% lower risk of stroke compared to those who did not eat chocolate at all. And honestly, I think those people that don't eat chocolate are crazy, but that's just my opinion. There was also a study by the American Heart Association journal Hypertension that found that eating flavonoids and foods like chocolate that contain flavonoids it improves mild cognitive impairment. So that has implications for aging. You might age better by eating a little bit more chocolate. And so let's talk a little bit about chocolate. And see, here's the cat again. She can't stay away from the camera. Some of the ways to have a little bit of chocolate, have the flavor, have the health benefits, I'm going to show you today because I want you to get a handle. I'm going to give you the Weight Watcher points values of these things, because the key with chocolate is not having too much and not letting it trigger you out of control. When I mention that I have chocolate every day, what I'm talking about is a size piece about that big. This is from one of my favorite kinds of chocolate. This is the Belgian dark chocolate bar that's made by Heinen's, a grocery store in our area, and this has sea salt in it too. And this little bar has 6 different sections in it. So this is 6 days worth of chocolate for me. Just break off my square and I stop. I usually have it with a cup of coffee, and I make it like a real savoring kind of occasion. This is good stuff. It's a very good chocolate, not too expensive, but you could do the same kind of thing, but I want you to see the size. It's about 1/4 of an inch thick and about 1 inch or so big, and I might eat this soon. The other one that you might be familiar with is this Ghirardelli chocolate. These are filled ones, and these are about 2 Weight Watchers points each. This is 1 Weight Watcher point each. So this is more of a splurge. These are delicious, by the way. This one has raspberry in it. But this is where you stop. You don't go eating a whole big bar, okay? Now the other thing you might want to know about, I mentioned that study with the stroke risk, and they had, you know, that 1/3 of a cup of chocolate per week, or about 1 tablespoon of chocolate chips a day. I really like mini chips. These aren't mini chips, but this is what I had in the cupboard, and notice it's not open. It's not open yet. But you can have 1 tablespoon of chocolate chips for 2 Weight Watchers points. So 1 tablespoon, 1 tablespoon, 2 points. So remember that. And I like mini chips because they work better, plus you can get more in a spoon, less air between the chips. Okay, if you just need a little bit of a hint of chocolate, this is a Ghirardelli chocolate, dark chocolate syrup. It's wonderful. Again, moderation is the key. But if you use, what I calculated for points, if you use 1 tablespoon of this somewhere, it's 2 points, so that it's the same as this. And actually 1 tablespoon is a lot of chocolate if you're drizzling it over maybe the top of your coffee, or sometimes I drizzle this on raspberries. It's really good together. So that's something to think about if you just need a little hint. And then for a really low-fat, low-calorie option, you get the flavor of chocolate with just cocoa powder. You can put a dusting of it in things that are already prepared. You can put a little bit in your milk, but not sweeten it. I put a little bit dusting on my coffee. I whip the milk for my coffee, and I dust a little bit of this in sometimes, so it's very pleasant.
I'm not a big person to use artificial sweeteners, but I like flavor, so, you know, if I'm gonna put it in my coffee, I'll just put it in plain milk and that'll work. Okay, so that's the lesson on chocolate for today. Use moderation, and if you need more help, we'll talk about that on our call this week.